When we bought this place, it came with a farmhouse, machine shed, grain bins, an old barn, and less than 10 acres. We are in zone 5B, and there's the grass road we got right there. Of course, our septic system failed pretty quickly after buying, which, is rather disappointing. There's our barn, and there's our pasture. The pasture had been hayed twice a year since moved in, or before we moved in, I guess. And
once since we've moved in, but it'll be hayed. We will continue to have it hayed until we can get animals on it.
Yeah. We're getting our garden set up. This field to the pasture fence was all overgrown and thistles and goldenrod and all sorts of stuff. So we like using wood chips for our potatoes, and then we're going to have some tomatoes. They're looking kind of sad right now, and then eventually green beans. This is a work in progress, and it will start looking better and better as we go on. Just as a side note, we are not going to make sure everything is Pinterest perfect before we show you guys. This is what it really looks like. Long grass and everything. Kids mess, all of the above. This was the chicken coop we brought with from the last place. And the chickens overwintered in it. They did fine, even temperatures down to, what did we get this last year? Was it negative 55?
They have been in it down that cold.
Yeah.
It's not
And they
this year,
survived.
yes.
No heat, because we don't want them to have a fire in there and then all die. An old shed that was still on the property, and we have 4 grain bins that we're not quite sure what to do with.
If you have suggestions on what to do with the old grain bins, we're interested in learning creative things people have done with them.
One fun thing that I found out is an empty grain bin has fantastic acoustics. Even if you can't sing, it sounds pretty fantastic in here. The kids also have a lot of fun making noise. Here's the old barn. It was moved to the property, I think, in the 40s from somewhere a little bit further south of us. Yeah. More space than what we need to have.
At the moment. He's challenging me.
It's like the chicken coop. It keeps on needing to be bigger and bigger.
In here, we have got a pen that was already set up and needs some work, but for now it's housing our broody turkey. And there's some chickens that snuck in and
Desperately want to set on her eggs.
She should be hatching out this week. I'm not exactly sure because she was going in and out a lot the first week.
If you get close enough, she will hiss at you.
She will also bite you. I have found that out the hard way.
Look at her puffing up.
And once her chicks actually hatch, I'm going to close this screen door and lock them in so predators can't get to them easily.
One of my favorite parts, look at the birds, is the old barn loft, which still has the old pulley system, lots of hay, and then kittens in the corner, which it's a little bit dark to see right now. Don't know what we're going to do with this eventually. We have a lot less room than what was originally here when they would fill us up, so I don't think we'd fill it up with hay ourselves, but maybe we can do something fun with it. Here is the inside of the barn. The chickens have escaped their enclosure again. As you can see, there's lots of trash and manure and hay that got left in by the last people who owned the property. We have our work cut out for us, but we'll get there. We were told that they used to farrow hogs in here back in the day.
We were also told they used to farrow hogs in the house back in the 50s.
Not sure exactly how we're going to have this set up. There is a water pump over in the corner where the chickens are that does not work. I don't know if we can get that fixed back up. There's a heater in the other corner that is missing a propane tank. There are electrical outlets and wires up. A lot of it is black woven stuff. When we moved in, it was electrified, but is no longer that way. The reason why it's no longer electrified is after moving in one night, I found a glowing wire outside. Upon further investigation, look at that nice black area right there. That's exterior metal with all that lovely black burn marks. We had an electrician come out, and he very quickly told us that he could not leave it hooked up, so it's now disconnected. Eventually, we're going to get this reconnected.
It turned out that the wire on the outside of the barn, which I'm going to now, if I can figure out how to get out of the barn. The wire hooked up at the top is frayed and touching the metal up there. And so it had electrified all the metal siding, the roof, everything metal was electric. And if we touched it, we were going to not feel so happy later. So it is unhooked until we can get it redone completely, including the main line.
You know what? I haven't seen the dog pee on it since it was electrified.
Well, that's true. Out here, we gave the chickens a nice, big, fenced-in area, hoping that they would tear down some of the weeds and all the thistles that come along with this place. And the little jerks said no and flew over the fence. I need to trim their wings. When we moved out here in August of last year, all of this was tall grass that you could barely get a riding mower through. Okay, we shouldn't have even tried to get the riding mower through it. And thankfully, my husband's grandparents were also homesteaders, and they passed down a couple of scythes, and that is what we use to clear parts of this, because this was all septic field and
Bumpy septic field.
very bumpy septic field. So we couldn't have a tractor hay it. So we ended up scything it down. And we also, above where the septic field was, we planted some fruit trees.
North of the septic field, about 20 feet away, so it wasn't growing into the septic.
Yes. But now that the septic field has been replaced with a sand filter, we won't have to worry about it anymore.
We've got a couple
Peach tree.
peach trees. Yep, sorry, brain fart. A couple peach trees that we planted that are looking fantastic. So 2 peaches, and then we have 2 apple trees, and I didn't quite
What's
get
this one?
This is an apple.
This
2
one's
apples that didn't get.
coming to life at the bottom, but
I didn't get the rabbit guards up quick enough, and so they nibbled on the bark, and then in the wintertime everything north of the, or up from the nibble, kind of died. So we'll give that one a chance at life. I'm not sure if the leaves are coming from above the graft or below the graft. This next apple tree, even though it got nibbled on, it is doing just fine.
it looks pretty good for a young apple tree. And this last one, what was it?
This was our pear tree, and it got chewed on really bad. And then it does have some leaves at the bottom that are coming back, but those are from the rootstock, which is different than the type of wood, that the type of pear that we want it to be. So even though it's growing back, it's gonna have to go.
Thankfully, we got them from Tractor Supply.
And there is supposed to be a good warranty on those.
And so we can return it and they'll give us a new pear tree.
We also planted a couple of grapes, and those got nibbled on pretty good. So I think most of them died. I think there's one that's still alive, but 2 of them did not make it. One thing that does grow fantastic here are thistles. Lots and lots of thistles and nettles and weeds. Up against this grain bin, we found that there's lots of elderberry, which made us so happy. When we moved from our last place, we had to leave all our elderberries behind. So to find a mature or multiple mature elderberry bushes made us happy. Now we're going to eventually transplant these somewhere less close to the grain bin and further from the nettles.
And further from the propane tank.
And further from the propane tank, which is right there. But for now, we'll take it. On the back of the property now, we put in a row of fruit trees that were grown in Maine, so they should be nice and cold hardy. We have an American plum for pollination. What we did was I used the dirt that from the hole, the sod, to kind of, we're on a decent slope here, so it's kind of a catch for the wood chips and also for water as it comes down the hill. We did that with all of them. We got three plum trees, different varieties. There's the wood chips. And one nice thing about having the dirt mound on the outside is it helps keep the chickens from scratching them all over. There's another plum, and this time I got the wire guards up right as soon as they were planted so the little rabbit jerks couldn't chew them. And we have two different pairs, and they're not looking quite as hot as the others. I don't know if they need more water or if they're just taking longer to adjust. The last house we left behind our nice mature orchard. So
Mini orchard.
Mini orchard.
5 or 6 trees?
Yeah. So we started from seeds. So we were kind of anxious to get this jump started. And the last people had planted some, but they didn't fare as well, so they're already gone.
The winds had ripped up one by the roots, and it was barely hanging on to life, and the other one was just completely dead.
Well, we're about out of time for today. We got some other stuff that we got to get to, but that was a brief outdoor tour of our property, and we'll show you some of the before inside pictures in a little bit, or videos as we have time.
The house was under remodel when the last people left.
Yeah.
So we are getting the joy, some days it's not a joy, of finishing the renovation, fixing things that were falling apart due to just being abandoned for so many years.
Yeah, we'll get there.
It's a process.
What we've found out is that one day at a time, one thing at a time, little steps make progress. And it's busy when you have kids and work and grad school and all the things. So, Thanks for joining us with this. We'll show you more in a little bit, and I hope you have a blessed day.